All right, Tiger Woods and the crash. Let's tie some things in together for us because I talked about the Tiger going into the dojo slash Dugo. The J and the G are kind of similar in that go spell situation for that man-child being birthed. All right, but either way, the Melania slash robot AI bridegroom situation I got into the other day. Here is that tale and the side of the two-edged sword and the frequencies that you listen to in the world shaped of pyramids and triangles and circles and squares and all that stuff. And then Trump came in on that square, that dollar, where the 1, 1, 1, 1, 11, 11, right? Right, all that's there. And, well, that is on the 1,111th day of the Signature Bank collapse. All right, we got that collapse coming right now for that cicada COVID variant or whatever, right? So, and then we were told about that cicada rising up out of the ground for the 17, which is the card that the Justin Sun bought the banana on, and that was also tied, or is tying into that horizon line that's being shown for that meta, right? And this is all that going on for the hemp lights, the heat EMP, and whatever else is stacking up. So let's tie in some more stuff because he ties into the 82 PGA Tour wins or whatever on the wiki. And then we see the 82nd Airborne Division being born and birthed and pushed out into the news this week. I got the computer on today because it's telling me that Tiger Woods is dating a Vanessa Trump whose daughter is Kai Trump. And since that ties us to the Cobra Kai and that UK crane kick and that dojo and that Miyagi and Daniel San and all that stuff for the Daniel Beijing and Daniel 9/11 that's playing out in front of your world right now as your pastors are telling you dead people are literally going to rise. But the dead people are rising right in front of you as you have AI resurrecting Trump talking to Elvis or Trump doing dances with whoever. Okay, so, and then also, they tell you your phone's going to go away. Just a little side note. They tell you this, that, and the other, right? What I envision, okay, is you have your Oculus phone, or your Apple phone or whatever, right? Your smartphone. You have your Oculus glasses, whatever. It's going to project up a hologram or whatever we see, okay? Or you might even have a belt, ding, okay? And then but it's through your glass. You gotta have the glasses on for your sunglasses to see shit or whatever, right? For your window into heaven, and heaven's in you and all that. But either way, while we're doing all this, you can have all these kinds of things where we get rid of the phone because we're in stepping stones of these things and going into the projection, and then we can get to where we have a drone and shit actually follow us around and can become us, or where we wear the glasses and people can view us through our own reality and these things where we've seen before, where, right? So, and this is just the birth of these things, as like this last 100 years gave us this next 100 years will give us this, and we can see this increments of how long it takes this and that. And now with the progression of this, that, and the other, we can see how time collapses in on itself. So this is where things may actually be that 2045, okay, for that 100 years. So, and this is part of those second days and third days and fourth days overlap to the seventh day and sixth day and first day when they're just now giving birth as they're having the autism and that gold and whatever else hitting them, the immunity and the brain. And okay, so as all the brain's been taken from them, the brain's going to be given back to them through the AI as they become the EIO, and for the little McDonald and a farm. And Trump's talking about the farm today with the farmers and such, and This can be tying into another labor situation and flip-flop things of things I've seen and so-called that I spoke of in the past as far as in the second coming, and the flip-flops in the sands of time for a draft for that labor situation, because we're clearing out and hanging so-called Jesus, the Juans, the Johns and such on the cross, on that border, crosshairs and all that, pushing them back, and then we're going to be cleansed. Ain't going to be nobody to do the field. So this is where that labor situation, we got to draft the people in who can work 12 and up for this, and picking this, that, and the other, and got to do this, that, and the other, and whatever else. And I think it was Iran or whoever's talking about drafting the 12-year-olds and whatever else. But this is where also they can come in and just fly the fucking drones and go to battle that way. So they can be drafting and be doing fucking battle from their bedroom or whatever kind of thing. All right, so I mean, shit, you're playing games your whole life, right? Just blasting people. Okay, you don't know if it's a real person or a fake person. Who gives a shit? You're playing a game. Let's go see if we can. Let's go see if we can take them motherfuckers out. The Jupiter Island, Jupiter, the Red Storm. Know your things about the mythos and the Jupiter and the Saturn and Venus and Mars and all that stuff. All right, can't get into all that. Some of this stuff you should be kind of like a basic foundation on the common sense. But he blew those triple zeros, those triple crowns. That's kind of a wait, the head's about to come out, and all the water when the head pops out, like, gets all shitty. Sometimes it might just be a fucking turd first, and then you like the last birth, catch the turd first, and the baby's kind of like, what the fuck do I do with this shitty hand? The water gets all bloody, and then get out with a new baby, and that's the Moses being taken out of the basket. And then you got your Moses and coming again and going into the wilderness, and that's where you get your 40 years. All these things coming within yoke. So as the tiger and dragon are going to the dojo, or tiger and serpent and the dragon has the leg still. The serpent is the dragon who's been cast to the ground. If you go into your dragon study, you'll see that there's different types of dragons, and some have wings, some don't. Some have legs, some don't. So this is where these things are all tying in. And then, so in the dojo or the do-go, you have Trump signing the guitar with the Kenpo sign. And this is showing a clock as far as the red and the dragon at the top and the north. And you got the tiger at the bottom and at the south, and these types, the blue. And this is the compass, and it's dividing, and it's circling. All right, and it goes back to that circle on this thing here. Okay, the circle and the triangle, and now you're getting the square, and he just signed it for the one, the one, the one, the one, all being in the corners. And this is where the Antichrists are all coming and ready. He has the kings ready as he's the dawn of time, shining his light in the middle, connecting. Okay? And there may be a premature birth on some of these. And that's where you get your C-section being shown in the Strait of Hormuz and these types of things. Or maybe in your Gulf of Mexico or Gulf of America, the 2-in-1, the dojo, the circling of the dragon and tiger. And whoever we just read, Maduro, he said he was Venezuela. He said he was the tiger, and then you also have the Trade de Agua, all right, for that live water. And then Colorado actually was talking about, just hit me, Trade de Agua before, and now they're saying they're going to go with a support the WHO, and the WHO is the serpent seed. It's nice to your COVID and whatever else. And now you got that collapse with the 11111 and the 1,101 and 11 days on the since the signature bank, and he signed on that dollar and all those things. So, all right, and back to the rollover crash, the ex-lover perhaps. Maybe that was with Melania and Elon. Maybe they hooked up when he was staying over one time and whatever else. Or we could see that rollover crash as far as that Y2K ready and the Crossroads of America and that Jesus so-called and those kings that are put in the corner. Those are all kings within you people, as that image has been given life, and the demons are within all, and the scary heebie-jeebies, and the Illuminati, and the 666, and the mark of the beast, and the tracking, the buying, and the selling, and all this other shit. All right, the fat hearse, supposedly the father, and that Vader that's coming for 60-70% of the obesity people, and all your AI and your medical records and your ID and your Israel ID and your weights in line and rations for the dragon and all this shit manifests in front of you. Oh, well, wait, in front and within you. So let the good times roll for the rollover. And the tiger is coming and consuming a tail. And we have the Chi, the K, AI, the 11 on one side, the AI on the other, and the AI on the other is the 1. And the eye in the mirror can be a 1, or it can be a 1 with a dot with that point for that two-edged sword, or it can be a 9 as far as that level of consciousness and Christness and the Christ consciousness and those things. And the 9 is the mirror on the 6 for the 6-7, when either God rested or the Lord God came, that takes you into the fucking garden and says, you got that circle around you. You got the circle around you. You can't try that tree in the middle, or you get the eye of God. Well, you get the eye of the pineal, where the face of God is, where Jacob saw. And Jacob and Esau comes, and you got the thief stiller, the stilling of the inheritance. All these things are being taught to you in some fucking heebie-jeebie way. Well, you got your heebie-Jesus way coming. All right? As you got your slow oven and your co-evident and all this other stuff being loaded up, all right, for your barren womb, and those permies, and those permanent markers, and all those things are all starting to set aside, all right, and those permanent markers, when the end-to-end encryptation and whatever else starts hitting, going through the big D and don't mean Dallas, part of that DM and all that other shit, all right? And that DM is tied to the David in my life in one aspect and one light, and that Solon aspect with a two-edged sword. Anyways, he's the one where we went to he was the owner of a place we rented at, and he had a Christmas party or whatever. Either way, he took us on a tour through his house, and he had a little velveteen painting of himself naked on above his bed and whatever. Well, is that you? Yes, you. Started talking about his pecker after that, and then we all go do fucking karaoke after that, but I just stay for a little bit. I gotta go other partying to do, but either way. Good times back in the old millennium, whatever. And actually, Tiger Woods is dating this Vanessa Trump chick. I happen to be dating a chick named Vanessa back in the day in '99 who worked over here, but that's where her company gave out the Y2K Ready shirt that I still have today. Okay, so just some little overlays in time because, well, that's a whole nother thing. But the Kai Trump in the UK, crane kick, and these types of things, these are kind of tied to the two burdens. And the donkey carries the two burdens and all those types of things. And then the Daniel Sonny wax on and wax off, right? That's for part of that masturbation. And that masturbation is tied to this Masters with this Tiger Woods, where he's not going to be able to play the Masters in one level. So all these things are tying into different little scenarios as your masturbations and your hook, lines, and sinkers, your Ice Age and whatever else, your lines, your snaking, and those things that are hatching, right? The tiger comes and bites the tail off the dragon. It's all just kind of coming to me, but the dragon and the serpent are like lining around, right? And then you have the tiger coming in and biting it off. So what do you think that would mean? Or whatever, like during these types of things. And it may not just be a line, because the lines are there, right? And they're the snakes breeding. Like either way, they're the snakes breeding. So then when they go back to home, then that's when they do the nesting. When they do the nesting, that's when the kids go to school, and the Easter, and then the Columbus, the Columbine, and all that kind of stuff is lining up, or whatever. And then the Mark Wayne Mullen, or whoever his name is, from the Oklahoma, the KO punch on the backside. He's tied to the Tulsa and the Tulsa King scenario on that one. And then he has a martial arts record. And then he is born in 77, which is the year the dragon died, and he's born on 7/26. That's going to tie you to the spirit of 17, or it's a 7/2/6. So the 77 or 1776 spirit on that one. But where is it going to go with this dude? This will just kind of. The Cherokee Nation, the Chair, the Sonny and Cher. I think she was 16 and he was in his 20s or whatever when they met. Y'all are they're basically where they followed all these people, and they've even done it their own selves or whatever, where they had kids at 13, 14, 15 years old. We've all heard the stories from our moms or grandmas or whatever. And then they're lifting up the harness in their own hearts, and they're bringing the law over these types of things because they don't understand where they're at right now, and they're trying to control what can't be controlled. They can just control what's in their little bubble, and the bubble is tied to the lies and that breathalyzer and all those kinds of things. But either way, the Mark Twain 1/17 11 States Congress. The 17's card that Justin Sun bought the banana on. The 11 is the L even, the 47. The 17 for the 6/7. Those types of things for the 7 to the 13, or the 6 to the 13. And then the Tulsa King stuff, the Sly Stallone, the Lone Star State, the Stall, the Stable. He also has a brother that doesn't look anything like him, and all those types of things. And this is all fitting into my own life, where I have a half brother. My sister and brother are half brothers, and I am my dad's only son, who's actually a twin, but I don't look anything like my brother. So that kind of ties into those little stories. And also you have the Charlie Sheen and the Emilio Estevez, those kinds of things. So what I could see to where there's some twins and whatever else, to where maybe this dude has married a set of twins, and the facial structure we're being told on social media comes from the father. And we kind of see this with Bruce Willis, unfortunately, and Adam Sandler. But this is this creating a whole nother segment of the so-called Sons of God and the Jew Nation on whatever, okay, and creating the blonde hair, blue eye, and whatever kind of thing on one level, and then the blonde hair and that kind of thing on another level. The Bacon College, that's the 6 degrees of bacon. That's kind of what I kind of show and teach in ways here and there. It's too much to, as far as what I'm getting downloaded since 2020, and the Nights of Dreams and getting sick and whatever else. I told you the story, but it's a daily fucking download, people. Like, I don't know, like, and I'm just putting out a fraction of what I'm even getting from myself or our conversations in the house with the wife, and putting all these things together and whatever else. But and then either way, the Tulsa King and those things lining up in one level. Oh, the Cherokee. The Cherokee, the Rock, the Russia, the Sonny and Cher. Cher was in the movie with a mask, and the mask with this, and then the mask that somebody is probably wearing to do a cover-up that we're being told with Biden. It may not be Biden. It might be there. A lot of these things there might be telling about something here, but it's actually over here, and it's the House of Mirrors, and it's a carnival sometimes in those House of Mirrors, where you have the wavy glass this way or wavy glass this way, and it makes you look fat or makes you look skinny or those things, right? And we're in that House of Mirrors now, where like they're saying, oh, it's okay if you're 200 pounds overweight, you look great. If you didn't look great, they wouldn't have a store just made for you that went only XXX whatever. And, you know, these are things that stuck out as a child, because my dad, when I was growing up, at certain points of his time, we had to start going to this XXX store or whatever. It's like, I'm just thinking in my head, like, well, how come we just doesn't always weigh or be small? Because it's like a battle in the head, because I'm being taught this over here as far as herbs and eating this and this and this and this and this, and then these diet books come out, they confuse everybody, everybody fucking blows up afterwards, and it's just the the alien and fucking invasion that's fucking come on upon the earth, and nobody's a fucking human anymore, because they're all going here or there or there or there or there. Where do we land? And that's where your birth is coming. You're about to fucking land on Earth 2.0. And 2.0 is 2 of those eggs hatching open, and one of them still there for that breathalyzer that Tiger was just fucking blue. Either way. We got Broken Arrow attached with this dude, Mark Twain. and mark the demons that are coming. Demons attached to intelligence. So if demons are attached to intelligence, okay, and you got rulers of darkness, and the Lord creates the darkness, creates the good and the evil. Well, he's got the evil, the demons right at his hands here. So it's where the image has been given life inside of you, and it's just manifested. And you're some black hole fucking sun. And the black hole fucking sun is your screen, and it's black, and the Spirit of God moves over it, which is you, the light, and you turn that bitch on, and you start looking at it. The world is so bad. Or whatever the fuck is going on, and then you go, I gotta call that guy. I'm not fucking happy, or I'm having anxiety, or whatever. Yeah, doctor, I need some of them pills. I'll just take the simple test. Okay, well, I mean, why do you have to shove your finger in my ass for anxiety? Well, listen, okay, it's part of this procedure. Shit. Well, yeah, I have to take a liquid first, and then I shit for 2 days, and then you do it. Oh, okay. Alright. I'm just going by the stories I've heard, but I've been sent the shit kit in the mail, or whatever the fuck is going on, dude. Like, are people really fucking shitting in a box and sending it in the fucking mail? Like, what world is this? I never saw my parents shitting in a box or bag and sending it in the fucking mail to the doctor. That's some nutty fucking shit, people. That's some fucking peanuts. For your Dumbo to go flying around your fucking carnival in the House of Mirrors with one fucking feather. Which means you're a fucking bald eagle. With a white head. Well, I got a conscience of purity, even though I go and claw the shit out of everybody with the Santa fucking claws. I spent $600 on them this year. Well, remember when giving used to make you feel good? It's your fucking choice. I got my squeaky shoes on today or something. Looking down here, you got PPP loan forgiven for the Mark Twain. The PP, they love their PP. The Slurpee for that 7-Eleven. And the P, did he? He better not have. This actually takes him to another, well, I don't even know if I should tell this story. Fuck it. The Vanessa chick I told you in another whatever, right? Or earlier in the video. There was a point in time when the floodgates released, and I thought she pissed all over the fucking bed. And it was just like fucking gallons. It seemed like a fucking liquid and whatever else, but they love their PB. But the PP on the mirror, the House of Mirrors, is the BBB, and that's the 666. Okay, and the 666 is the FFF or the XXX or the OOO, or wait, put those in a little combination in the Fox, and we get the Fox tunnel, or the Fox tunnel, and that Sussex on the Will.i.am, and those types of, on the cat and whatever, and the hairy bowls, the red hairy bowls, on that level. Oh man, there was one other thing, was the the Fox Tunnel with the goofball Elon Musk. He could be a twin too. That's where we're shown this goofball, and then we saw this other dude with hair, no hair, and stutter, no stutter, and whatever, kind of not cool and into the cool and whatever bullshit going on. Either way, that's one level. But he has that boring tunnel going on, that bow ring, and that Boca Chica, and the bow ring, the boring, the ring of fire for that June Carter, and the June Cleaver, the Buckies for that Beaver in a way, for that Cleaver Believer. Either way, folks, the Broken Arrow, the John Travolta back in the day, he had the gay massage or whatever in the old Four Seasons. Okay. What about, let me see, the Buck Sexton Show? That's for that prostitution, and Abbott. We're showing, well, we all know Abbott does those wheelies. We've seen that chick doing the old, that pole shift with the wheelbarrows and such. Either way, I haven't looked much at this Mark Twain, but he is on the 220 or 726. That's the 8 on one level for the 816. The 816, the 19 on the 77 for that flip, so that would be the 816 77 for the King Spirit dice roll on Elvis, and this dude would help be giving that birth, and that's where you tie in Trump doing the signing on the guitar, and that's that ovulation and the pregnancy and all that things, and then also the guitar. I posted the keys and the clock that's associated with the rainbow and all that that's associated with your dragon and whatever, on these overlays of clocks that we put together and time and whatever. But it's a lot to keep up with, people. It's the Ben Night Horse Camp Bell, the California, the Amp, the Bell, the Cowlees, those fucking gay cowboys, and shit started in Hollywood. Hollywood's a bunch of drama queens, and everybody in your drama class back in high school is what? Well, 95%. So either way, yeah, they go either way. The Ben and the horse and the horse rider and these things are all coming in this year when it starts cracking the snake, right? So this is kind of like the overlays of the clock. The dragon and the serpent are here in different layers. Okay, so as the horse rider comes in, cracks the last of the eggs, and the turtle shells are here in different ways. Then the horse rider starts to reverberate, and the people start to get on the horse in a way. All right, these next years. So this is where we can see flip-flops on things, where we're being shown here, where we're in like a political thriller, where we see this explosion here, this explosion here, going along with this news here, and this news here, and whatever kind of thing that went on in 2020, 2021, when Trump went to the border, and the trumpets sounding, the world shutting down, and the stealing of the election, and all these things are going on, all right? So they're talking about Kamala possibly being the winner now, and Trump has stolen the election. This would flip-flop the things on the things I've said before, to where given like 3 days to get out, he started this this White House app where you only get the news from the White House, where it can be he's taking control of this White House, and then she's having to use the political media, part of that Fox tunneling and going under for that Bad Bunny session and those types of things as you're in the rabbit or the ice age in the Scandinavia, so-called, I've gotten into before, but the tracks and all that stuff being laid out. Either way, just got off on a little rabbit trail there. Either way, the stealing of the election and the flip-flops, giving the 3 days to get out, to the month, the day, and the hour. We see how all these things are setting up, and then your sepulcher, your Xmas, the July, the June fans for your June Cleaver, June Carter, the Ring of Fire, all those such things cracking open for your Gemini session, for your Honolulu, and whatever else. But then we have the Havana, the Savannah, the Grasslands, and that Cubana, and the hack attack on the Cash Patel, the hack attack on the Cash Patel, the Cash Pa, the PA system for the Butler, and the tail for eating itself, and those kinds of things for Trump, possibly doing some type of AI robot system or whatever, kind of like the Jackal thing or whatever that I've gotten into the past. But he did all this in different layers or whatever, spread out, as this is like we're seeing in a dark tunnel in a way through the magic scry. So this is like a dark magic house of mirrors that we're watching as far as spirits, right? So and we're seeing it in our head as an image, so it's a hard image, so we have to take it out of our head and into the world and spread it out in a way. And this is where it gets softer out there, but this should kind of make sense if you've been following along or whatever. I just noticed I kind of drifted off there on the old last end of the sentence, but if you've been following along or whatever, it just gets so vast and shit, and everything's up here in a way. The December and the 2027 to the 47 to the 11, and the consciousness and all those things. It's where we're like kind of seeing things now, and the political thriller, people are being taken into those things, to where it's gathering up those who have the eyes and ears or whatever, and they start to seek and search and whatever, and the AI will lead them through whatever they need to get to where they need to hear who they need to hear. All right, if they're and it goes with that. Well, I dropped it. The triangles and circles and squares and overlapping, going up and down, and them just following so far down there to where they're no longer reachable. Either way, folks, we'll wrap it up here.